When you think of war, you probably picture soldiers, tanks, and explosions. But the most powerful war happening today is almost invisible. There are no missiles, no battlefields, and no headlines screaming war. Instead, it's fought with tariffs, sanctions, technology bans, and currencies. This is the silent economic war, a global struggle where superpowers fight for dominance using money instead of weapons. And whether you realize it or not, this war affects your job, your savings, and the prices you pay every single day. In the past, power came from military strength. Today, power comes from controlling the economy. If you control trade routes, technology, energy, and money itself, you can weaken another nation without firing a single shot. Economic weapons are quieter, cheaper, and often more effective than traditional warfare. They can slow a country's growth, destabilize its government, and completely reshape global influence. And the world's biggest powers are using them aggressively right now. The most important front in this silent war is between the United States and China. It officially kicked off in 2018 when the US imposed massive tariffs on Chinese imports. The public explanation was simple: to combat unfair trade practices, but the real fear was much deeper. China wasn't just exporting cheap goods anymore. It was racing ahead in critical fields like artificial intelligence, 5G, electric vehicles, and semiconductors. Suddenly, the battlefield shifted from trade to technology. The US began restricting China as access to advanced chips and the equipment needed to make them technology that is essential for any modern economy and military. This wasn't just about profits. It was a strategic move to slow a rival's rise. In response, China started pouring billions into its own domestic innovation, desperately trying to break its dependence on Western technology. What we're witnessing isn't the end of globalization. It's the weaponization of technology. When superpowers fight an economic war, the shockwaves are felt across the entire global supply chain. Factories shut down, shipping routes get rerouted, and prices for everyday goods start to climb. Businesses worldwide woke up to a dangerous new reality. The global economy is incredibly fragile. To reduce their risk, many companies began moving production out of China. But they didn't necessarily bring those jobs back home. Instead, manufacturing spread across countries like Vietnam, India, Mexico, and others in Southeast Asia. Supply chains didn't disappear. They just fractured into smaller, more complex networks. Today, deciding where to build a factory isn't just about efficiency and cost anymore. It's about geopolitics and national security. Another major weapon in this silent war is sanctions. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Western nations launched one of the largest and most coordinated sanction campaigns in history. Russian banks were cut off from the global financial system. Billions in assets were frozen, and imports of crucial technology were completely blocked. The goal wasn't to cause an immediate collapse, but to apply relentless, long-term economic pressure. Russia responded by pivoting its economy eastward, strengthening trade with China and other non-Western partners, and finding new buyers for its energy exports. But the damage was real and undeniable. Foreign investments slowed to a trickle, access to modern technology vanished, and economic growth weakened significantly. The sanctions proved a modern truth. Financial isolation can cripple a nation just as effectively as a military blockade, without a single battle being fought. At the very center of the global economy sits one currency, the US dollar. Most international trade is priced in dollars. Most countries hold their foreign reserves in dollars. This gives the United States an extraordinary amount of power, especially when it comes to enforcing sanctions. If you can be cut off from the dollar system, you're essentially cut off from the world economy. But America's rivals are actively pushing back against this dominance. Russia and China have been steadily reducing their use of the dollar in trade between them. China is promoting its digital yuan as an alternative. New payment systems are being built specifically to operate outside of US control. Now, this isn't about replacing the dollar overnight. That's not going to happen anytime soon. It's about creating options and slowly reducing dependence. Because in this new era, whoever controls the world's money ultimately controls the rules. Economic wars don't just stay at the top between governments and corporations. They eventually hit everyday people. You feel it in higher prices at the grocery store. You see it in the uncertainty surrounding jobs and industries. It shows up in slower economic growth that affects everyone. While governments fight for leverage and companies adapt to the new landscape, it's ordinary citizens who absorb the shock. The silent economic war makes its presence known at gas pumps, in rent payments, and on your utility bills. The wars of the future won't always be loud. They will be fought quietly, through complex trade rules, technology bans, financial sanctions, and competing currencies. The battlefield is the entire global economy. The weapons are invisible and the consequences are very, very real. In the 21st century, money is power, and the silent economic war has already begun. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content that explains the forces shaping our world. See you next time.